Alright guys, so I stumbled across an interesting video that doesn't really have anything to do with politics per se, but as a political YouTuber, I have experienced issues with YouTube and inconsistencies, okay? Having videos demonetized, having videos be age restricted, and this is something that I've been dealing with a lot more recently, specifically the end of July and last month, than I have more than at any time that I've been on YouTube. And this is something that I've wanted to talk to you guys about and to, I guess, explain what I think may or may not be going on, whether or not I'm experiencing some type of bias or something like that. But I just haven't really got around to it because one, I'm not necessarily sure if YouTube retaliates against people who, give them constructive criticism, right? And I haven't really had a good kind of background to discuss this issue in regards to, what I believe is going on with YouTube and some of the stuff that's happening with my channel. And that's part of the reason why I've been promoting my store even more. I've been, getting more into just being like, you know what, I'm going to use most of my videos. I'm going to, promote, my store. I'm going to take on sponsorships because quite honestly, YouTube is just not reliable, right? It's just not a reliable platform in regards to it being a reliable source of income, right? I mean, in the sense that, you can wake up any day and that can be taken away from you, right? I mean, that's just the reality that you live with as a YouTuber. But I'm not the type of person that really likes to complain all that much, right? So I don't like making videos like this. But this video right here from this guy, CoryXKenshin, whom is not a political YouTuber. I think he's like a gamer or something like that. He has 14 million subscribers, and he is accusing YouTube of racism and favoritism. And he talks about a situation that he's dealing with at YouTube, a situation that people like me have dealt with. And I feel like I have some insights into what might be actually going on here. But he's dealing with a situation that he feels like is racist, okay? He feels like YouTube is being racist. So I'm gonna tell you guys, based off my experience, what I think is going on here, whether or not I think it's racism or not, and then go from there. But regardless, the point of this video is that YouTube definitely needs some constructive criticism, okay? Because there are things that are going on at YouTube that I think need to be addressed, okay? And I got a good feeling, what the issue is, and I'm going to talk about it. But before, let's go ahead and just play a little bit of what this guy is saying and what he's talking about, and then I'll tell you guys what I think is going on. Take a look.
This time, I can no longer let it slide. This is the situation. August 18th, I uploaded The Mortuary Assistant. A lot of you would know it got age restricted because the following video I did, I let you guys know it got age restricted. YouTube didn't tell me why. I saw that all these other YouTubers were playing The Mortuary Assistant and only my video seemed to be age restricted. And I looked for like an hour, 2 hours. I was scrolling all different types of people's video. No one else's was age restricted. So I appealed the restriction. Hey guys, I'm not sure why mine got age restricted. Could you look into this? Appeal rejected. They doubled down. The policy team said, no, Cory, your video is restricted for good reason. We're not going to tell you why, but it's restricted. That's our final decision. I said, okay. I get with my YouTube rep. I sent him an email. Hey, could you look at this? This is some weird stuff going on. Only my video got age restricted. My YouTube rep, who isn't on the policy team, he looked at my video and he said, hey, it could possibly be this part at the end where the woman was battling some depression, and I'm just gonna leave it there, lest this video also get age restricted just because I'm talking about it. So I looked at that part. The first thing I did was try to find other YouTubers who had that part, or at least a part similar. Now, Markiplier, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I just want you to know I have a lot of respect for you, and I didn't mean to drag you into the middle of this. Your channel just happens to be a great reference point because A, you're a really big YouTuber, and B, you're not black. So I can look at your channel and then I can look at my channel or look at anyone else's channel and make sure that the things and the games that you play, that they're enforcing the rules equally to everybody. So I go to Markiplier's Mortuary Assistant Part 3 and he had the same situation going on and his video wasn't age restricted. So I send the video to my YouTube rep. I say, hey, Markiplier has this situation in his video, but his isn't age restricted. Could you send that to the policy team and see what they say about that? He said, wow, Cory, that's some astute detective work. Let me send this to them and see what they say. What do you think happened after that? I'll give you a second. They came back and they removed my age restriction. They took it off after they already rejected my appeal. I sent them the clip of Markiplier's video that has the same thing, and they removed it. Now, my YouTube rep, he was excited. He was, oh, great, this is awesome. Look, Cory, they took the age restriction off. I said, why? I expected them to triple down and give Markiplier an age restriction too. But they looked at Mark's video, and they used that to verify my innocence. So I send my YouTube rep a lengthy email detailing my feelings about the entire situation, feeling like there was some favoritism at play, there was either that or some racism at play, and that I would like to sit down with the policy team and figure out why my video was flagged in the first place. Actually, number one, was it automated or was it a human that age restricted it in the first place? Number two, who was the human reviewer? Because it's a human reviewer once you submit an appeal. Who was the human reviewer that doubled down and rejected my appeal? Number three, why did it take Markiplier's clip in order for them to reverse the decision? My YouTube rep gets back with me. He wants to hop on a call. We get on the phone for about 10-15 minutes, and I tell him, I've been feeling like this for a long time. So my YouTube rep assures me he's going to continue this dialogue with the policy team and try to get some answers to those 3 questions that I had. So another day, another 2 days go by, and what do you know? They re-age restricted the video. They re-age restricted the video. I say, no way did they do that. I go to Markiplier's video now, and now his video is age restricted. They got caught with their pants down. They got called out, and then they had to go back and say, oh, whoa, okay, we see the narrative that he's kind of pushing here. We need to take some steps back. We need to just age restrict them both and be done with it. You thought that I wasn't gonna talk about this, make a video about it? You realize how bad this looks for you, YouTube. And admittedly, I cannot 100% prove that race had everything to do with this. But I can tell you the people on that policy team, those shadow people that are anonymous and get to enact their will however they see fit. How can we be sure that they take a black person's video and a white person's video, and it can be the same exact video, and they restrict the black person's video, but not the white person's video? I feel I've been mistreated for a long time. I mean, even when we hit 10 million subscribers and I was supposed to get my diamond play button and there was no correspondence. Oh yeah, let's give a spotlight to these black creators because we're all about diversity. All this communicates is black people aren't good enough on their own skill, on their own merits, on their own talent. So we got to give them a spotlight. We got to come down and raise them up so they can get some spotlight action. Well, how about you save all that YouTube black, all that fake patronage, all that fake pandering that you guys do. And when you have a black creator coming to you repeatedly saying, why am I being treated differently than other creators? And then you come back and, oh, we got to age restricted. And then, oh no, he's on to us. Okay, we got to age restrict them both. Fake!
Yeah, so I know that was really long, but I wanted to make sure I play the whole video so that you guys get context in regards to why this guy is accusing YouTube of racism. Now, I'm going to say this right off the bat. Okay, I'm going to say it right off the bat. I don't think what's actually going on is racism. I think YouTube definitely has political bias, for sure, but I don't think they have racial bias in the way that he's accusing YouTube of having racial bias. And I'll tell you guys why. Okay, now, he mentioned one thing in here that I want to talk about real quick first, which is how when he got 10 million subscribers, I think he had troubles getting his plaque. Have you guys noticed that I've never shown you my YouTube plaque for passing 100,000 subscribers? Well, it's because I never got one, right? When I first passed 100,000 subscribers, I never got a notification. And then when I went and asked about it, they looked into it, and the guy told me that for whatever reason, my channel is not eligible for the plaque, even though I passed 100,000 subscribers. I don't have any active community guideline strikes. I don't have any active copyright strikes. But for whatever reason, I'm ineligible for the plaque, right? So at that point, I just stopped asking. That was like, what, a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that? Whenever I passed 100,000 subscribers. And I never asked again because, quite honestly, I really don't care, right? The YouTube plaque does not mean anything to me. But I'm just saying, I don't have it. I don't know why. But I'm not necessarily saying this because I'm black. I actually just believe it's just because of my political views, right? So with that being said, what I think is going on here, right, with this guy. It's simple. It's really that YouTube has a inconsistency and a competence problem when it comes to enforcing their own policies, whether it comes to community guideline strikes or ad suitability. Okay, because I've experienced the exact same things this guy has experienced. What he's experiencing is not out of the ordinary like he's making it. And I'm not saying that he's necessarily like, exaggerating anything like that. I get why he feels that way because I feel that way. Okay, particularly in July, at the end of July, I was just getting my videos demonetized and age restricted left and right. And I was like, what is going on? Okay, so again, I've had similar situations in the sense that I did a video about the guy who defended himself, the bodega worker, against the black dude. And in that video, I literally put a freeze frame on the part before the dude got stabbed so that technically there's no violence in the video that YouTube could use to either demonetize the video or age restrict the video. I do this a lot. That's my way of keeping my videos monetized and not getting them age restricted when talking about controversial stuff or having controversial or violent, footage or whatever. I just put freeze frames on it because they tend to let that go, right? They don't really care about that as much as they care about having actual videos of violence, okay? So I use pictures or whatever, right? For whatever reason, that video got age restricted, okay? Went through the exact same process. Went through the appeal process, which is a waste of time, right? You appeal it. It's almost like they automatically reject it. I don't know if it's a human. Allegedly, it's a human. I don't know if it's automated. I have no clue, right? So then after that, what you have to do is that you have to try to escalate the video, okay? You have to say, look, I believe that the initial 2 reviews, which are supposed to be done by humans, by the way, were wrong. And I want it looked at again. And most of the time when I do this, the decision gets reversed, okay? It gets reversed. Now, there's situations where that doesn't happen, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But for whatever reason, that third reviewer, okay, that looks at the video, for whatever reason, it seems like he has a different perspective, right? A lot of the times in the initial 2 reviewers, okay? Is it because the initial 2 reviewers are incompetent? I don't know. But most of the time when I have to do the 3rd level review, I only do it when I'm almost sure that the first 2 reviewers got it wrong. Like when they mark my video as having something in it that clearly it doesn't have. Like, for example, a video gets demonetized for having, harmful content or nudity or something like that. And I'm like, it clearly does not have this in the video. This is crazy. That's when I'll do the 3rd review. If I agree, if I say, okay, I can see why you think that, right? If there's something in my mind that can see why, I understand why they mark a video that way. I don't even go through that process because it's like, all right, whatever, right? No big deal. But there has been situations that do show that there's some issues going on here in regards to consistency in how people are interpreting this policy. For example, I did a video not too long ago about the gay couple that allegedly gave their dog monkeypox. Now, we don't know necessarily how that happened, okay, but I did a video about it. I've done plenty of videos about monkeypox and how, it's spreading and who's getting it and whatnot. No issues. But for whatever reason, this video got marked for harmful content, okay? Now, this is a ad suitability review. The human that looked at it said it had harmful content in it. What in there is harmful, I don't know, right? But they said it was harmful. You can request a review of that, and you get a second human to look at it. Allegedly, it's a human looking at it, and they agreed. They said it's harmful. So I said, this is crazy. This doesn't make sense. Obviously, there's nothing in here that's harmful. Let me do the 3rd level review. So I try to push it to a 3rd level review, right? Which is something you got to do. You got to do that manually. But I do that. They come back and say, no, there's not harmful content in it, but there's hate speech in it. Right? So it went from 2 people saying there's harmful content in this, but not hate speech, to somebody that looked at it a 3rd time saying, well, no, there's not harmful content in it, but there is hate speech. How does that happen? Right? How does the first 2 people miss the hate speech, but mark it as harmful content, and then the 3rd person says there's no harmful content, but there's hate speech? It doesn't make sense. And it's stuff like that happens time and time again. Like, for example, I got a strike back in like January, okay, that really made me upset. It was a medical misinformation strike for something that is literally on the WHO's webpage, right? At the time, it was on the WHO's website, the World Health Organization. And, YouTube says, the medical stuff must be in line with the World Health Organization. I literally, when I was told why my video got a strike, my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe that a human actually looked at that video and said that what I put in that video was medical misinformation, when clearly what I said in the video is on the WHO's website. Which again, is more evidence as to why YouTube shouldn't even be in the business of trying to censor and moderate that type of stuff anyways, right? Because they can't even keep up with what's supposed to be allowed and what's not allowed, right? So I had to literally point out the fact that, hey, this is on the WHO's webpage in order to get the strike reversed. That's after I had initially appealed it. Again, this is the type of stuff that we have to deal with. And the whole time, we're losing money on the video because the video is either age restricted, which means it's nuked. YouTube's going to stop showing it to people when you age restrict it. Or, it's demonetized and you're not making any money while it's being viewed. Yeah, we end up basically suffering because of the mistakes of YouTube, because you have people that are reviewing these videos that seem to not really either understand the policies or even really agree with each other in regards to what content is violating the policy and why. Right? So there's either a competence problem, which I think that's definitely some of it, and there's an inconsistency problem. I don't think it's necessarily racial from my experience. I don't think it's racial. I think it's just one of those things where you have humans looking at stuff and they're seeing two different things, right? And in some cases, it's just egregiously wrong. In other cases, it's a little bit less black and white, right? So I'm not necessarily sure, again, if I would say in this guy's situation that YouTube is being racist. I just think that YouTube doesn't know how to apply their policies consistently across the board, considering the amount of videos that are uploaded to the website and the fact that two different people can look at the same thing and see two different things. And who knows if any of the content moderators actually looked at that other video that didn't get the age restriction before looking at this guy's video. Right? Because again, I've had that same thing happen where, hey, I'll have a video age restricted. I'll go and look at somebody else's content or a major news site with the same exact content, no age restriction. And you have to point out that why is my content being age restricted with the exact same, violence or whatever, like CNN has, but there's no age restriction. What's the problem there? Right? In some cases, when it comes to footage like January 6th, yeah, CNN can get away with playing that, having their videos fully monetized, but I can't. That's why anytime there's January 6th footage, I always have to censor it because YouTube will demonetize the video, right? But CNN, on the other hand, they can just run the January 6th video all they want. They don't have to worry about it because apparently to advertisers it's suitable when CNN does it, but when I do it, it's not suitable. So again, I think there's clearly bias politically, right? And I think there's also bias when it comes to, big outlets, right? Mainstream media. They love pushing that versus smaller creators. However, I'm not necessarily sure if I buy into the racism accusations, so to speak. Even though I do think that, YouTube promoting black creators while at the same time, not giving a black conservative, his plaque. Yeah, I think that's suspect. But I wouldn't go as far as to make the racism accusations, even though, again, I don't know. This guy feels the way he feels. I'm just putting this video out here because this is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. Because I think that YouTube should do right by their creators and fix this inconsistency issue that is happening, in which you have this policy not being equally applied across the playing field, right? So again, I don't know. I just thought these accusations were interesting, and it gave me a good opportunity to talk about my experience and what I've been dealing with, because I do think it is important to bring this stuff to light so that YouTube can do better by their creators, because we're the ones that actually make the platform great, right? We make the platform what it is, and if you keep doing this and if you're inconsistently applying your policies, eventually a competitor will compete, okay? Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not a year from now, but down the road, somebody will, actually cater to their creators, which is how YouTube, again, became a good platform in the first place. And it seems like they've kind of lost sight of that because, they want to be in line with mainstream media and all this other stuff. So Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.